Good morning, everybody. Today is December 7th, and Dr. Vuong here, Best FN Dad, with your quick COVID update. It's going to be a short one today. I like to do these Tuesday ones because you get the Monday numbers, and the Monday picks up for all of the weekend when people aren't reporting. And I'm going to tell you, yesterday's Monday number was 197,000. We'll round it up to 200,000 cases in the United States. And I went back a week ago, and a week ago we had 110,000 cases roughly. So, and I told you, I was like, dude, it's going way up. And if you go back before Thanksgiving, like the number's even lower, right? We are definitely trending in the wrong direction. The what everyone's talking about is Omicron. I'm gonna get to Omicron here in a second, but I'm in Houston. Omicron has been found in Houston. It's in probably over 1/3 of the states. Here in the United States, it's in over 40 countries. We shouldn't be shutting down flights because it's everywhere. I'm going to talk about Omicron data. Is it less virulent, et cetera, like that here in a second. But it's here in Houston. And interestingly enough, they pick it up. You might know this already, but in terms of viral surveillance, they use the sewage system. They test the sewage water. In other words, your poop. They find outbreaks of polio or measles or whatever, in this case COVID, through your poop. And so they have identified a lady here in Houston with Omicron who did not travel, so it's already here in the community. And they also confirmed it with Omicron positive levels in the sewage system. So there we are. The same story. Delta is burning through, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, New York, New Jersey. The numbers in New York City are going up. The city itself is about 90% vaccinated, so that's still a lot of people, man. 10% of 10 million people. I mean, you still have 1 million people who are not vaccinated in New York City. And if you're talking about 10,000 cases a day out of 1 million, I mean, it's still a drop in the bucket. You still have a lot of unvaccinated lungs, so there's a good chance you're still going to see a surge. The cases in New York City, I mean, the case numbers in New York City are starting to go up. It's over 2,100 cases a day now. And like I said, it's coming to the south. You're seeing it. South Carolina's getting hot. Florida is starting to get hot. There are sparks inside. You could Trump called it little embers, little flare-ups. Well, we're there. We're having flare-ups, but we haven't learned our lesson. I don't think we're going to contain the flare-up. It is going to take over the South, but remember, the South is going to be Omicron because we've already had the Delta surge, and the current surge that you're seeing is Delta, the new surge in the South, which I think will be in the New Year, spring. That should be Omicron. Now, coming out of South Africa, we went from 1,000 cases to 3,000 cases when they told a day in South Africa when they told us about Omicron. It is over 10,000 cases a day in Omicron now, and most of that's Omicron. So in a matter of a month, Omicron has supplanted Delta. The data coming out of there is very early. I'm only repeating stuff that's readily available. Hopefully this will help you though, but if it makes sense though, it's gone. You're talking about a country that's gone from 1,000 to 3,000 to 10,000 cases a day, and essentially doubling in a 24, 48-hour period. It's pretty ominous. We here in the United States, I promise you, this next surge, we're going to hit 200,000 cases a day as an average. We're going to go over where we were. And if you've been following me, I've been telling you this is the second surge. This is the second wave. It's not the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. All last year was one big wave. You just got to back off from it, and all the ups and downs, it's just you smoothing out that curve. It's one big wave, and this is the second big wave, and there will be a smaller third wave. It's just how pandemics work, man. I'm telling you. Back to the early reports about Omicron affecting kids under 5. It's really too early to say if there's a correlation between that or not, if they're milder symptoms. What I can say right now is Omicron is probably not more virulent than Delta. Delta's pretty bad, man. Delta's hospitalizing people We have 780,000, almost 800,000 dead Americans, 5.6 million people worldwide. You know, more people died in 21 due to COVID than 2020. You know, that's pretty, and that's all Delta. That's mostly Delta, man. So Delta's pretty bad. It's bad. So, and as I said, as a selection advantage, a virus doesn't really want to kill its host too fast. So you want a virus wants to be more contagious and less virulent actually over time. Otherwise, it burns itself out. So that looks to be the case, but dude, you know, the symptoms are it's still bad. The people who are like trying to downplay Omicron by saying it's milder, dude, it's not the cold. It is still like, if it's less virulent than Delta, it has the potential of being your worst ever flu, and the flu still kills, you know, 50, 60, 70, a bad year of flu is 80,000 deaths here in America. So a stronger version of flu, I would be so quick to jump on the whole it's endemic like wagon yet. Like I don't want a coronavirus that's endemic that kills 150,000, 200,000 people a year. Like, you might want that. I don't particularly care for that. Now, interestingly enough, and I'll wrap this up, is one of the early symptoms, or one of the interesting things about Omicron is that it seems the whole loss of smell and loss of taste symptom that was with SARS CoV-2 is starting to go away, which is interesting. So we'll need to figure that out. So it seems like Omicron has less loss of sense of smell and taste. Early data, very early, which is one of the telltale signs of coronavirus. So now we're going to have a flu season with a cold season with rhinovirus, with, you know, RSV, and now you're losing one of the telltale symptoms of coronavirus. You know, we're going to have to really up our testing, etc. As always, the best thing to do right now is to get vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, get boosted. If you've already had COVID in the past, get vaccinated. The early, and I'm telling about early data, guys. The early data seems to suggest that prior infection is not protecting you from Omicron. So I'm just telling you, all right? You've been warned. Love you guys very much. I'll be back tomorrow with a video. I have a couple of videos in the works. I'm going to do an antigen test on myself in the nose, on live on camera. It's a rapid test. You can buy it at CVS, Walgreens. $2. I mean, it's $25 for 2 tests, which is not that expensive, considering, you know, at one point I paid $250 to have my daughter tested because her mom wanted me to go to actual clinic. So the price has dropped tenfold, and eventually it'll, like Biden, however long it takes, your insurance company is supposed to pay for it eventually. And then I'm going to do a antibody rapid test on my finger prick, because I'm 2 weeks post my booster, to see what my antibody levels have done. And those are future videos. I'm going to talk about why I plan on catching Omicron. That's kind of, I'm teasing. This is in the business, they call this a teaser. And now, Ron Burgundy here with the news. See you next time. Bye, guys.